Yo, what's up, boys and girls? Swolelax here, and I'm back at it again in the video with something a little bit different. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most divisive yet powerful cards in the entire game, and that's Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. There are two camps of thought when it comes to Chaos Max. It's either that you love this card or you hate this card. I'm in the camp that says I like this card, but it has a lot of downsides. So I'm maybe somewhere in the middle. Now let's start off by talking about the upsides of this card, because I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about, not a lot of people address. They kind of just say that it's bad and here's why it's bad. Let's just talk about why this card is just kind of good for a few seconds. Now keep in mind, when I say good, I don't necessarily mean optimal. Yes, this card is extremely powerful. Yes, this card can be easily summoned, but just keep that in mind when I'm talking about this point. Now that being said, why do I like this card? Well, this card is a 4,000 monster. This dude is a beast. Not a lot of things can handle 4,000 attack points, and the fact that it also can't be destroyed by card effects, it can't be targeted by card effects, that's pretty nutty. Pair that with the fact that a lot of cards, when you look at them, either target or they just destroy. Not a whole lot of cards have non-targeting spot removal. If you're not able to successfully stop this card from hitting the field, it can kind of be a huge pain to deal with. I mean, I don't know how you're getting over a 4,000 attack point monster, but I'm saying, okay, if I don't draw Moon Mirror Shield now, I'm probably losing. And that's about it. So Chaos Max is really interesting because where those are pretty huge upsides, it's large body, can't be destroyed and can't be targeted, and the downsides really do kind of weigh it down. The bad things about Chaos Max really do weigh it down. Sure, it can get over a lot of things on the board. Sure, it can't be destroyed by a lot of things on the board. And sure, it can straight up not be affected by a lot of cards that either steal, destroy, or bounce. Firewall Dragon, Unicorn, Widow Anchor, Raigeki, Absolute Zero. A bunch of cards just straight up don't hit this thing. But that's where we get into the downsides about this card. First and foremost, this card is not optimal. I mentioned a little bit earlier when I was talking about why I think this card has a giant asterisk next to it, but when you do the math in terms of the deck and deck spacing, when you're running a 40 card deck, this thing takes up a huge chunk. Sure, Chaos Max is only a 2 or 3 of, but the engine itself around Chaos Max is really bulky. If you're running the Chaos Max strategy, you're running anywhere from 8 to 12 cards that consist of Manju, Advanced Ritual Art, Chaos Form, and Chaos Max himself. Those 4 cards running any variations of 2 or 3 of can take up that up to 25% of your deck space, 1/4 of your deck. Sure, it can be used for cards like Trade-In, can be discarded, and can be searched with things like Melody of Awakening Dragon. In addition to that, it overall synergizes with the Blue Eyes deck, but I would expect that much from a Blue Eyes card. However, again, you're taking up 8 to 12 card slots inside your 40 card deck, where you could put things like combo extenders, combo starters, hand traps, other cards that maybe protect you or negate things on your opponent's side of the field. And there are also a lot of really easy outs to this card. You got things like Storming Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Even Moon Mirror Shield can make the weakest of monsters be an out to Chaos Max. In addition to that, you have the problem of summoning this card in the first place. You're running Chaos Form or Advanced Ritual Art are typically the most common ways you're getting this card on the field. Now, if these cards get stopped, then this card is essentially a brick in your hand. You've wasted some cards, and the rest of the card slots inside the deck and the main play you're going to be using were for nothing. No, I'm not here to tell you how to play Blue Eyes, how to play this deck, and how to play these cards, because like I said, I actually like this card, and I actually like this deck quite a bit. I think it's really fun and can be really good and steal a bunch of games when your opponent isn't expecting it. Add that on top of the fact that it's a 4,000 body means that it can be a threat on the board. However, cards like Borolo Dragon, which is a really common competitive staple at the moment, can take this card with non-targeting acquisition. You can also compound all of these things on top of the fact that Blue Eyes have no problem with outputting massive amounts of damage and also getting a lot of special summoning. Someone also argued that the most optimal way to run Blue Eyes is a way to negate your opponent's board while also outputting that massive amount of damage. Because most, if not all, the Blue Eyes monsters are 3,000 attack point bodies, then they're able to get over a lot of things that Chaos Max probably could do anyways. Sure, they don't do double piercing damage and sure they don't have 4,000 life points, but I think you'll get by. Now again, I want to just reiterate, I like this card. I think it's interesting. On a design standpoint, this card is very bipolar. It is at once a very powerful and strong card, but it also has really simple outs and also is not very optimal. It's weird because when you think about how Konami designs cards, makes this game, introduces new boss monsters, it seemed like that this card wasn't necessarily nerfed in the fact of its card effects or how it is, but in the way that it was summoned and the way that it operates inside the deck in terms of its proportions and deck ratio. And that's kind of something really interesting to think about. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. What do you guys think of it? What do you guys think of Chaos Max? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in between like me? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys liked the video, make sure to leave it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Got more videos coming in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that if you want to. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Peace out.